power and how well he speaks to all that.
Yes.
And we actually have a lady who has an exciting project. She might be coming over this way.
Okay.
Just momentarily. We can actually go to her.
Let's bring her on in.
But such an important point to talk to
Yeah.
people who are first-generation Americans or either from another country, talk about how great President Trump really is.
That's enlightening, isn't it?
Right.
I love it.
Our corporate media, the lamestream media, definitely has an agenda. And when we talk to people who are out here, clearly proves that they are wrong. But let's go talk to this lovely lady because
it's all about truth, right? And that's what
It
we
is.
represent on RSBN. We represent the truth, and that's why we're so proud to be here for all of you. Oh, good. I'm
no
so glad
question.
we have an opportunity.
And ma'am, can you share your name and what you're working on? This is a very exciting project with Miss Roseanne Barr.
Well, I'm not actually working with Roseanne Barr, but she announced the other day the MAMA movement, which is Make America Moral Again, which sets really close to my heart because of the work that I do. I've been traveling. You know, Trump, when he said he was turning the government back over to we the people, I took that very seriously. And so I started to look at how I might be able to help America for the better. And so since 2019, I've been traveling state to state. Pennsylvania will be the 6th attempt for me in the 4th state to change a law called Clergy, Penitent, Privilege Exemption. It's the exemption in the mandatory reporting law that allows crimes against children to remain secret as sin within the institutional setting. And so these crimes are not being reported, and so then they mushroom, and it has a demoralizing effect upon society.
Oh, absolutely. Wow, that's incredible work. Something I was not aware that was happening. And, of course, we've seen this in many institutions. And sadly, the Catholic Church was plagued by it, amongst others, where there is these people should be trusted being clergy and being members of the family. And then, sadly, some taking advantage and really practicing evil, satanic, just the worst things you can think of. And we talked earlier on the broadcast, 325,000 children are missing over the border from Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and their failed policies. And that's what we know from the Border Patrol. So this is incredible work that you're doing.
It's God's work. It's not my work, and it's all of our work. We need to come together as a country, not right, not left, together in the middle for the children. And that is the only unifying force that we have. If we don't correct their traumas, it's just going to get worse for our nation. Our founding fathers said that the Constitution was written for moral and religious people, and if we become so immoral, our Constitution no longer benefits us as a nation. We become more chaotic, and we need more laws, which then brings more authoritarianism into our free nation. So.
Oh, no question about that. Save the children, protect the children, so crucial. And, Hollywood changing with people like, I just think of Jim Caviezel and Mel Gibson doing some great work like Sound of Freedom. Dream City, I believe, is one of the next productions talking about child trafficking and this evil plague over our country. So tell us how you're working state by state. Is this federal law you're trying to change, state law? How does this work?
It's state law, so each state has reporting laws, and there's a loophole, and it's called the exemption, the Clergy Penitent Privilege Exemption, which allows them to keep these crimes secret. In some states, it's a choice. In other states, they can't go. It's illegal for them to go. So we need to change that. And you mentioned the Catholic Church. I'm actually a whistleblower myself. That's how I got into this work, really, was my own history. You talk about children missing. My brother ran away from home at 15. We grew up 45 minutes south of here in a small Norman Rockwell town. Nobody noticed him missing. Nobody, ever. 30 years he spent on the streets. And when he passed away, I learned he had a son that I had to look for, which I found. But the Pennsylvania Attorney General did a 2-year investigation into the Catholic Church. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. But for the past 6, almost 7 years, they've been investigating the Jehovah's Witnesses. It just makes me wonder how deep things are going wrong in these cults. So Roseanne Barr, I listened to her, it was about 3 days ago. She was on the Tucker Carlson show, and that's where she announced this MAMA movement. And she talked about the satanic abuse. And unfortunately, it's very real. Very, very real. In Utah, they have a House bill right now called House Bill 196. So if you look up that House bill, it spells it out for you what is going on in these secret satanic rituals that are unseen to our eyes. And when our founding fathers gave us religious freedom, they gave us religious freedom not to hurt the children, not to hurt children. They gave us religious freedom, for our own souls to blossom and to be nourished by this great nation that we have.
And to protect future generations, the general welfare of the country. How can we help your organization? How can we get the word out in every community, neighbor to neighbor, because that's how change happens?
Thank you very much. I'm not an organization. I'm just a me. I'm a citizen, just like everyone else here today. So I encourage people to pay attention to what's going on. And once you learn of something that's a truth, we, the people, do have the power, and we need to petition our lawmakers. And if they're not doing it, then we need to do it ourselves and to protect the children.
Absolutely. We, the people, there's no question. Is there a website or anything we can go to?
Mark Rozzi here in Pennsylvania. He recently turned independent from Democrat. This is not a right or a left issue. This is a us issue. Mark Rozzi, he will be introducing that legislation for us in Pennsylvania this fall. So follow him and show up. Show up, because when we first did this in California, the Catholic Church made a website against the work we're doing. It didn't make any sense to me. I mean, you're a moral institution. Why would you not want to be moral and upright and protect the children? It's the most simple thing we can do.
Oh, absolutely. And several institutions affected by this plague, and those wolves who may be on the inside changing something good into a nightmare for certain people. So we have to remain vigilant, and we here at RSBN will stay on this bill, and we'll make sure that Governor Shapiro signs it into law and we get it through the legislature. So we'll exchange contact information, make sure that happens, because we have to save and protect the children first and foremost. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time and being on our show today.
Thank you very
Absolutely. God bless you. And I think Nikki has some other people to talk to, so we'll throw it on over to her.
Very good.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you, we're very excited because we have so many new friends that we've been talking to. But first, I wanted to